Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk. Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sake.
This is a cool night or what?
Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Your Dark Companion. We are glad to have you with us, no matter where you may be, no matter how you may be receiving this podcast transmission, and especially no matter when you may be receiving this podcast transmission, because you know, these live forever. But if you're on right now, you're part of the Live at 5 crew, and we are glad to have you with us. My name is Mike Rhyner, and we are here inside the nurturing biosphere of the mothership. Shoopy is here. Ashley is here. Becca is here, along with a very, very special guest. Anytime we can get him on here for whatever reason, we are glad to have him on, and we have an especially good reason to have him on today. He is the great and legendary Hall of Fame voice of the Rangers, the great Eric Nadel.
A man who has been part of 4 birthday shows for us now.
That's the special reason, right?
Yeah.
It's somebody's birthday.
Right. It would be Becca's birthday today.
Yes.
Yes.
But he's also been here for, was it Shoopy's, Eric's actual birthday,
Yes.
and then your YDC's birthday. But most
Wow.
importantly, Becca's birthday is today.
I will say, though, we have to clarify, Mike's birthday was Petty Theft Concert. I'm pretty sure we had Eric on the week of.
There's no way to know that.
There's no way to know that. Hell, I've forgotten it anyway.
He spent all of our birthdays with us. Spent all of y'all's birthdays with y'all.
But we have a very special reason for doing this. Well, I guess it's not that special because we always do one on Monday, right?
Well, except
This
it's
is,
not
today is
Monday.
Wednesday
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is. Okay. Screw me then.
for our purposes.
But we do have a very special reason for doing this because we just got back from Las Vegas.
We,
Yes.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't.
Ashley wasn't there.
I was there.
Okay.
Becca was there.
I was there.
Okay.
And guess who else was there?
I was there.
That's right.
Hey.
Eric was there. And we made it a point to hook up for a couple of things, and we're going to talk about those things and our trip today. Now, for me, this was my first swim through Las Vegas. Everybody finds that hard to believe, and I guess it is. And I can't give you a good reason why I waited so long to go to Las Vegas. It seemed like back in the day, every time I would, have a little downtime coming up and want to go somewhere, I'd start thinking about places to go, and I would always think about going to Las Vegas. But then I would come up on some place that I thought I would rather go than Las Vegas. So it kind of kept getting pushed to the back of the line.
But you finally made it there after 75 godforsaken years.
Yes. After 75 of the most rode hard and put away wet years you have ever seen anywhere, I finally made it out there. And you know what my big takeaway from it all is?
Pretty damn cool, huh?
It is pretty damn cool.
Nice. You liked it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. But it left me now wanting to find a good documentary on Las Vegas and the history of Las Vegas. I want to know how Las Vegas became what it was now or what it was back then when it was supposedly really high times there,
I can answer that for
and what it is now.
Mobsters.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm fascinated with mobsters. I want to know more about them.
It's the only one I got for you.
The Hangover was a pretty great documentary too. About
Well, did you have fun, Eric?
I'm sorry, I just got to stay there. I had a great time. You know, if you're into mobsters, the next place you need to go is Havana.
Yes.
Oh, those hotels were built by mobsters too.
oh man,
We had an Uber driver from Cuba who was talking to us about all of that. He was like, it's difficult for you to travel, though. I was like, okay.
There are a lot of Uber drivers from Cuba these days.
Are there really? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is Las Vegas a particular favorite of yours?
You know, I wouldn't say it's a favorite. The first time I went was back in the early 80s, and I was moved by the opportunity to see Frank Sinatra, and it was definitely worth it. I actually went with my parents, and we enjoyed Frank Sinatra together. I went with the Rangers to play a couple of exhibition games in the early 2000s. And the games got rained out. Both games got rained out. So we wound up having a free weekend in Las Vegas without actually having to work. And then I hadn't gone back for many years until the Sphere opened. And I had the opportunity for the first time to go and see the Dead at the Sphere.
Yeah.
And now I've been to the Sphere 3 times. And what I've discovered is that, you know, as incredible as the Sphere is, and I'm sure we'll talk about that, there are always other great shows in Las Vegas. You know, we lucked into Jackson Browne as part of our trip. The last time I went, I saw Garth Brooks for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Can't say I was ever a Garth Brooks fan, but I was told by many people, you have to see him live. And he was sensational. Totally sensational. He did a whole set of Bob Seger songs. Apparently, he's a real Bob Seger freak.
Wow.
And that was really wonderful. And now I'm thinking, I kept seeing these pictures of Kelly Clarkson on the side of buildings. I actually really like Kelly Clarkson. I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure or what, but I'm seriously thinking about going back to Las Vegas next summer, withstanding the 120-degree temperatures, so I can see Kelly Clarkson, who basically doesn't go on tour, but every now and then she plays in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace. I'll probably go to one of those shows sometime next summer, and maybe there'll be a show at the Sphere at that time that'll, you know, work in conjunction with that.
So you've seen the Dead at the Sphere,
I have.
and now you've seen the Eagles.
I've seen the Eagles with and without Chris Holt.
Who else has played the Sphere?
U2, I believe, was the first band. I think that Fish played there. Mm-hmm. Kenny Chesney has played there and is coming back.
Oh, that's
The
interesting.
Backstreet Boys have played there.
No
and
doubt.
They are coming back.
Zach Brown Band.
No Doubt's playing in the spring. Zach Brown Band is playing in December. And I think that covers it. There have been these rampant rumors all along that Billy Joel was going to play there, since it's an MSG-owned building, and, you know, he's big at MSG. He's big at the Garden. And at some point, maybe he will, and if he does, I'll certainly go to that.
I found myself thinking that it is made for a group. Even though, obviously, the same, 16,000 plus speakers will exist, I felt like it was just made for the harmonizing of a multi, singing group as opposed to a single person.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. You know, I'd like to have the experience of a single person and see just how different it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, clearly the Eagles' harmonies in that venue were just exquisite. It's really hard to describe without having been there.
Yeah, I agree.
I swear that was the most perfect show I have ever been to, because everything was just absolutely perfect about it. Now, I know the Eagles are real big on that, and I believe right when the Eagles were first getting big back in the day, I was reading a story, thinking Rolling Stone about them, and put one of the early profiles of them. And it was either Don Henley or Glenn Fry said, we want to try and fix it to where the worst that we can possibly be is great. And I kept thinking about that as I was watching them, because everything was so perfectly timed. Everything was so perfectly in sync. I mean, I don't know if those guys change anything, even the most minute detail, from one night to the next. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that every night all the guitar solos are exactly the same. I mean, they just seem to be kind of in that bag where they just nailed down everything and so that nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, they really are playing the songs, too, very true to the original recordings. There's not a whole lot of improvisation in the way they do the songs. The way most artists, when they're doing the same song over and over again, they're going to have a little different take on it, a little different arrangement at some point.
And that's really interesting when you consider that on the original recordings, there's only one guy left in the band, you know?
Yeah, Henley's the last one standing, right?
Yeah, but you're right. Still, they stay so true to it, and that's probably what fans of theirs or fans of any group that, you know. And when I say fans, I mean the larger number of them. When they go see a show, that's probably what they want. They want to hear the songs like they know the songs.
Right. They want to hear the hits the way they know them.
Yeah, and the Eagles do not let you down in any way as far as that goes. But it was just an awesome show, and let me tell you, everything you've heard about the Sphere is absolutely true. I mean, it is just an unbelievable venue in every way, and you almost have to put yourself into a kind of an alternate place in your mind, you know? Like, the closest thing we have to it here is Cosm. And I've been to Cosm to watch a few things. I watched the first game of the World Series last year at Cosm. And it's a pretty fantastic place too. And I kept having to tell myself, look, all you're really doing here is watching TV, you know? And in the Sphere, you have to tell yourself and remind yourself that, hey, you're inside here. You know, those things that are up above you, that's not the outside sky. That's something else. You are actually inside here. You're in an enclosed space.
That MF isn't real.
Yes.
Yeah, the one thing I found, you know, having seen the Eagles the first time in June of 2024, and now seeing them more than a year later, I'm pretty sure that the video show has changed somewhat. And they've introduced a lot more of the psychedelic type animation that the Dead show was really known for.
Yeah.
I don't recall that much of it in the Eagles show the first time I saw it. The other thing that was different, and it was great for us, is that Chris Holt was getting a lot of screen time.
Yes.
And when I saw them the first time, you didn't even know Stuart Smith was in the band.
Yeah.
You know, he was playing guitar, but he wasn't getting close-ups on his face, and he wasn't going, you know, blow to blow with Joe Walsh on the guitar. And, you know, Chris, I think, has a much larger role in the band than the guy he replaced.
Yeah, I was surprised by that a lot because, and in fact, I texted him about it the next day. And I told him that it looked like you were doing a good bit of heavy lifting on guitar. And he said, yeah, I am. But, I mean, he's up to the task. If anybody's up to the task, it's him. Yeah. And he was great just like all the rest of them were. I got to tell you, though, I was a little bit surprised by Vince Gill.
How good he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. And how much I liked him and how much he seemed like a really nice fit, you know? Because I've always kind of had a thing about, I mean, for me, him being a part of the Eagles is not something I've ever been able to really get my head around until now. And now I see what a good fit he is. But he is also known as a really good guitar player too. But like I say, most of the heavy lifting on those songs was done by Chris.
Yeah, I mean, you get Vince Gill and Chris and Joe Walsh together, those three pretty good guitar players. The thing with Vince is, you know, his voice really lends itself to those songs.
Yes.
Really does.
You know, when he's singing "Lying Eyes," and, you know, it's as good as any version you heard originally. It's, you know, it's uncanny how well he does that song.
Yeah, they kind of have had to figure out what they're going to do with the songs that Glenn Frey sang. And Vince does some of them, and of course, Glenn Frey's son Deacon is in the band, and he does some others. I mean, they've worked all that out very, very well.
And when
It's not a problem.
When I saw the Eagles here, Deacon was with them. He did not sing. And, you know, I tried to remember, and I think he may have done one song, but otherwise he did backup vocals and played the guitar, and that was it. He was great. I thought he did a really good job singing some of those songs at the Sphere.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, no knock on anything. Like I say, the show was perfect.
I also really liked seeing Don Henley behind the drums again, because he did not he played the drums on one song here in Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
Played guitar on all the other ones?
Yes.
You know, and I love the fact that he addressed the crowd, you know, and kind of explained we're in this incredible venue with, you know, however many billion speakers there are in there, but it's all about the music. He reminded you that with all the visual tricks you're going to be exposed to, it's all about the music. And it was almost really reassuring.
Yeah.
To have him, you know, make that point early in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you were pondering the idea of going out to the Sphere to see the Eagles, do it. By all means, do it. No matter what you have to do it, do it. Don't worry about how expensive it is. Don't worry about anything else. Just do it. You will not regret it.
Yeah, easy
You
to
might
say
have to
when
worry
have
about
God amount of money.
All right, if you can do it without worrying about it, do it.
To be clear, I was talking about myself.
Well, yeah, I know you were talking about yourself. You weren't talking about me.
Now, you guys sat fairly low down. How were your necks at the end of it all from looking up at the ceiling?
It had been used. Mine had been used. You know?
I was fine, but I found that because the graphics move so much, you didn't necessarily have to like totally look up a lot.
Yeah, you weren't necessarily staring at one spot, it sounds like. You could...
Right.
There's
yeah.
a lot of
I
stuff to look at, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a video of the one scene with the clouds, and then it turns into the, I don't know, all the planets floating around and all of that. That was one of the little bit more psychedelic kind of things that happened.
Yeah,
but it
about
just
the time
happened.
I started telling myself, "Hey,
all
you're
over.
inside here. You're inside."
Yeah, yeah. But it was happening all around. So
Yeah,
you
so
know,
many different video shots. I mean, in Lying Eyes, showing the woman sneaking out of the house, coming down the staircase, and it's remarkable. You know, it's so realistic.
I thought that the graphic of kind of just the housing for in the city, and then the way that turned into a cone that we were looking down in, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
So the Eagles at the Sphere, thumbs up. But wait.
Is there more?
There is so much more.
OMG. Oh my goodness.
Because the previous night, it was Jackson Browne.
Ash doesn't know who he is.
Now, this was my first time to see
skip it.
Jackson Browne in several years. I had that weird interlude of getting to go see him in Cowboys training camp 2 years in a row when he was playing the Santa Barbara Bowl, and the ticket would be out there for Cowboys training camp. And for back-to-back years, he happened to be playing the Santa Barbara Bowl, and there was a contingent of people from the Cowboys who went to see him, and somehow, both times, I got lumped into that, and that was pretty cool. And I hadn't seen him since then.
Yes, you did. You saw him here in Grand Prairie in 23.
I did?
Yeah, you went with Clouston.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I did. Well, Jackson Browne is, for me, he's always been right here. He's the guy that that whenever I would get into a bad headspace or anything like that back in the day, I would always turn to his records, and his records would pull me out. His records seemed to pat me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, little buddy, don't worry about it. It's going to be all right."
Gave you the Mike Maddox.
Yeah. He gave you the Mike Maddox and then gave me a couple of fist bumps on the chest and sent me on my way.
Go get him, Slugger.
What'd you think about him?
I thought he sounded incredible. I thought he didn't sound the same, and I hadn't seen him in many, many years. To me, he didn't sound the same, but he still sounded great. And he played great, and when he actually sat down at the piano, that was really moving, very, very stirring, I thought. I thought his band was sensational. His two backup singers were
they
incredible.
were
And it was just, it was very joyful. And, it was interesting how he played mostly newer songs at the beginning and then, cranked out some of the hits at the end. Mm-hmm. The way the show was constructed was interesting. And that theater in itself was pretty spectacular. It was really, I guess, ornate might be the word, opulent,
Yes.
even.
Yeah.
It was just looking up at the ceiling there. There wasn't a show up there, but it was worth worth
so
looking
pretty.
up there.
Yeah.
It was really, really gorgeous.
Yeah, he was at the Venetian Theater, for those familiar with the lay of the land out there.
We decided that the line of the entire weekend was when he pointed up to the balconies in there and said, "I keep thinking I'm going to look over there and see the two crotchety old men from the Muppets." Because it was that kind of theater too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So it was a big, largely music-driven trip out to Vegas for sure. But in Vegas, there is just so much more. And one hardly knows where to begin when you talk about it. I mean, if you've been there, you know what we're talking about. But if you haven't, you just really don't have any idea how much there is to that place until you actually go.
I would say the last time I was there was 2018, and it is very different.
Really?
It's very different. A lot more going on, a lot more building. Just
Cranes everywhere.
yes, it really was. It was different. I think also initially I was thrown off by the fact that they had everything built up for the F1 race coming.
Yeah, it was tough to walk around.
It
The
was.
sidewalk was closed off in so many places. You couldn't cross Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah.
It was a bit inconvenient.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Especially like you couldn't walk in front of the Bellagio or take in the fountains there
yeah.
because of the grandstand they had. But yeah, all the structure that they had because it runs at night, so everything for the lights was just in the way as well. Yeah,
How about the food, though?
that was good.
You have
Our
a
dinner was
wide
great.
variety of options.
Yes,
to say
you
the
do have
least.
options out there for sure. There was one place that we went to, our first night there, that I really enjoyed, and that was at a place called the Italian American Club. And it was very old school. I mean, if you want to throw back to old school Vegas, this is your place.
He felt like a mobster.
Yeah, you kind of do. I mean,
Just
because
shorts and flip flops.
they're a mobster in shorts and flip flops.
No judging here, by the way.
Sounds very Sopranos to me.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of guys walking around there who kind of had that, shall we say, connected vibe to them.
There was a lot of yeah, there was a lot of that.
This guy.
And the pictures on the wall, I mean, this clearly is a place that's been around for a really, really long time. And the pictures on the wall certainly would bear that out. There was a fantastic portrait of Joe DiMaggio in there. And that and just the vibe of the place and some of the others. And in fact, the way the wait staff was and everything just had that old Vegas vibe, didn't you think?
Yes. Yes. And they tend to be, like there's not a dress code or anything, but the wait staff it's very refined. Everything works like clockwork. You've got like 3 people dedicated to your table.
Yes. And they're very, very well dressed.
Yes, they are. The host is famous. He's been there forever. He is the first person you see when you walk in the door, and he's really good. He makes everybody feel at home. It's really nice.
What did you order, Shoopy? SpaghettiOs?
Mm-hmm. SpaghettiOs.
What was your favorite hotel, Mike?
Ooh.
I need to know.
My favorite hotel?
Yeah, what was your favorite scene or hotel that you went to?
Probably the one we stayed at.
I did ask him if he saw a difference as we were walking and going to different areas. I said, do you see a difference like in the level of, what the place looks like, if they do allow smoking, if they don't allow smoking, just everything. When you do you take it all in? He was like, I don't know. I mean, slots are slots.
That's a very Shoopy answer.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's really weird to get off of an airplane at the Las Vegas airport, and you probably take all of, 8-10 steps before you see people playing the slot machines. And then that's one way where you know that we're not in Kansas anymore.
But what was your first comment? Oh my God, there really are slots in the airport.
Yeah. I mean, I'd always heard that, but I guess it didn't sink in, or I didn't believe how that could be true, or I thought it was just somebody doing shtick, and come to find out, no, it's not shtick. And it is true. It is most assuredly true. And if you want to, then have a seat. Do it. Go for it.
So what was your first impression of Vegas? Was it daytime or nighttime when y'all arrived?
We arrived in the afternoon.
Okay, so the lights hadn't gone down or gone up and all that, but what's that experience like walking around Vegas for the first time for you?
Well, the first thing you're struck by is, man, there's really just a lot of shit here, And it's not all, drugstores and Tom Thumb and stuff like that, I mean, there's just a lot of it really is sensory overload.
Yeah, I was wondering about that with you. I know you can be overstimulated at times, and that's about the capital of the world for overstimulation.
Well, that's for sure.
It really is.
Yeah. It comes at you fast, and it comes at you in massive quantums.
And what we haven't mentioned is we happened to be there on Halloween.
Yes.
God, that's right.
That's
true.
another thing.
That's true.
So the variety of weird-looking people wandering around was probably exponentially greater than there
cranked up.
normally is.
I saw some pretty good costumes. I said some people traveled with some legit costumes ready to go. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they were definitely up for the occasion. There's no doubt about that.
What they didn't know, groups, was that there was a furries convention there.
Oh, was there really?
No.
Oh,
I was going to say I saw no mascots.
yeah.
And let's see. Here, you want to go over some of the stuff on here? Since you put this together.
What do you want me to?
Maybe
what do
just
you want me to go over?
some of the stuff that I might not be thinking of so much.
Okay. Well, why don't we start with one thing that was older than you there, which I think is where you stayed, Eric.
The Flamingo?
Is the Flamingo.
Yes. We did stay there.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. The room had a lot of pink in it. The lamp had a room with 2 queen beds. The room with the lamp in between the 2 beds was in the shape of a flamingo.
That's great.
And you really felt like you were in the 50s. in there. It was really cool.
I have not been in one of the rooms. I've been in the Flamingo before. I love it because it is like one of the really early casinos, the hotels and casinos, and it's 78 years old.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So,
Oh, God, Brian's it's older than us.
my two oldest boys went there when they turned 21, and that's where we booked them to stay, and they said they loved it as well. But yeah, it's just, and it's got the really cool lights and everything outside.
Great neon.
Yeah. It's not just the flashing billboards like a lot of them have.
You know, one thing you hear about is the difference between old Vegas and somewhere along the line in the 70s, 80s, something like that. Old Vegas sort of went away, and now you have New Vegas. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, things have changed. I would say the first time I ever went was 89.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the majority of the older hotels were there, and it definitely did not look like it does now.
The Flamingo's about the only one left, right?
On the Strip, the
Desert Inn is gone. The Sahara
Sands
is gone.
The Sahara is there.
Is it still there?
We did go through the Sahara. It's been built up, and so it doesn't look like it originally did. Circus. I mean, it's still there. But yeah, I mean, gosh. Yeah, I think the Flamingo really on the Strip proper, because the Sahara is so far down by the stratosphere. I mean, it's the last stop going south or north, I'm sorry, on the monorail. So it's way down, it's way out. But
yeah, you know, the other dichotomy besides old and New Vegas is the Strip as opposed to downtown. We actually went downtown on Saturday to see what that looked like.
Yeah, we hit Fremont on yesterday.
That was the last thing we did, and you know what? I'm damn glad we did that.
That was very interesting.
It's a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
I always like going downtown though. Yeah.
We went to Circa. We were at the Sportsbook somewhere, I think at Caesars, and the guy who was next to us said, you know, if you want to go to the best Sportsbook here, you need to go downtown to Circa.
Really?
So we hopped in an Uber and we went to Circa, and he was right. It was fantastic. It was two stories, and obviously TVs everywhere, but just the whole vibe of the place was really special. We were really glad we went. And then to see the hotels there and just how different they are.
Yeah.
From the ultra strip hotels.
Yeah. But they are the older architecture with the different neon, with that very traditional where, you know, I like Caesars and it's pretty, but it doesn't have it just doesn't have any originality the way the Flamingo does, with lit up pink neon feathers on the front and things like that. Like, they just don't do that for signage anymore. And I think that I kind of miss that. But when you go downtown, it's all like that. All the neon is different. And it's special, I think.
Considerably less expensive, too.
Yes.
Even like to get a drink at Sportsbook at Caesars or one of those places, it was $22 for a Bloody Mary. The next day at Circa, it was $13 for a Bloody Mary, just as good, probably bigger.
And it's
about half the price.
And the gambling's less expensive down in those places too. Yeah. So it's different, but it also is just special to walk under that canopy, the lit up canopy down Fremont. And it's kind of cool because Fremont's closed. It's just for pedestrian, as opposed to kind of struggling along the Strip right now.
Oh, and getting around, I mean, we all had the experience after the show at the Sphere of attempting to get an Uber or a taxi. We wound up walking about 25 minutes, finally getting to a hotel where there was a taxi line that wasn't forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you really had to work for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was surprising. We had been told that the Uber, or Lyft, any of the ride share would be difficult after the show, but the cab we thought was going to be different. And when we came out, there was a cab line like there is outside all the hotels. We thought it was going to be fine, and then all of a sudden they were announcing it'll be an hour wait, and then there were no cabs coming. And we called a cab company and were told we had to walk to their stand at a hotel. And we finally gave up and just walked back to the hotel.
Yeah. And I think part of that has to do with all of the setup for the race. That the cabs weren't able to get in there.
Yeah.
Because the lanes were so restricted, approaching the Sphere. They were down from like 3 lanes to 1. And I think that was one of the reasons it was so hard to get out of there.
Yeah, and they had it set up. Their parking and everything was also set up differently because one of the largest grandstands is in their parking lot. So that was all shut off. And so I wonder if that, in making sure that traffic ran smoothly, if there was a limit to what they could bring in early and line up and not cause too much trouble. So that, leaving the Sphere was a little bit of a pain for sure. And
here is another misinformed idea that I had about Vegas going in. I figured that, since it's in the desert, there was going to be nothing to look at except for the occasional cactus plant here and there. Nothing could be further from the truth, as these photos that you took will certainly bear out.
Would it be
I took
better
them.
if
We can
Shuki
pass
held
them the other way.
or Eric?
Yeah.
That's actually the view from our windows.
Yeah, you got some mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sunset was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
You seen these?
Can we maybe put them up on the?
You want to?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we put them up on the TV or no?
Or just, I'm just saying, just put them on
We could.
camera for the audience.
Oh,
We don't necessarily need 'em.
She's got them, so I think she's going to
We're
look.
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to.
Oh,
edit this.
post
This stuff isn't
post production.
Okay.
Screw it.
Well, we
Okay.
can just pass them
We
around.
need to
for
roll
now.
the mid-show read in.
Yeah, let me do the mid-show read. How
Okay.
about that? And now it's time for the dreaded and feared mid-show read. This is where I talk to you about what you should do if you were roaming through this world in a world of hurt and you don't feel good. Every time you twist your neck or every time you take a step, something's wrong. You don't know what to do about it. You'd love to do something about it, but you can't. Not only that, but it's keeping you up at night. Well, let me tell you this. There is a way. There's something out there. There's a place out there that can help you. Have you tried looking into CBD yet? Have you tried the CBD House of Healing? Now, you're probably thinking, it's just a head shop. I'm going to go in there and they're going to give me something that relates to pot and that'll be that. Well, yeah, maybe. But there are other things there too. The thing about the CBD House of Healing is that their owner is a registered nurse, and she's very, very good at helping people with situations like what we just described. And the reason I know this is because she helped me out not too long ago with that very thing. I had a pinched nerve in my neck, and it was just keeping me up at night. It was making life miserable for me. And she gave me something to put on it, and it doesn't hurt anymore. Now, if she can do that for me, she will do it for you. One thing I promise you she'll do is she will listen to you tell her about what's going on with you. And chances are she will have something that'll work for you. All you got to do is go in there. Tell them what you want. Tell them what's going on. And I bet you're going to be coming out of there with something that's really going to help you. The CBD House of Healing is located at Northwest Highway and Plano Road in the northeast quadrant of that burgeoning intersection. Just go in there, see what you think, find Summer, talk to her, and take it from there. I bet you'll be very, very glad you did. Get your healing process started and sleep again at the CBD House of Healing.
You nailed it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I want to ask you if you ran into anybody particularly interesting in your people watching and wandering on the strip.
Like, which time that I turned around are you speaking of? Like, there you see somebody or something interesting every time you turn around. What are you speaking of?
You didn't have to turn around. She was coming at you, and you saw her from quite some steps away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little video of this out there. And if you want to see me at my most uncomfortable best, take a look at this.
Pretty much everywhere but Facebook. 'Cause it got taken down.
Yes, it got taken down from Facebook.
Yeah. It got taken down for what? They said
From
it was
Facebook.
porn?
Yeah, they said it was porn. Her badges didn't cover enough, apparently, on her chest.
And the pixels didn't either.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's more she whipped Mike in the ass a couple times.
Well, true.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that.
I think Eric
We
had
know
his
you
own
do.
incident of running into people, too. But they were everywhere. I mean, they were out. That's what they do.
A lot of people looking for tips.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
If they're looking for tips, they're looking for attention. And they probably do a really good job of finding both.
Yep. They do. They do. Okay, I do. Since I'm going over this, let me see.
You put it together. I thought
I
you.
know. Well, this is just a bullet point
Everything's
for you. All right. Well, I do want to ask this. And this is really just because personally, my favorite place is the Peppermill and the Fireside Grill. And you and Kendra did make it after the Sphere. We gave up and did not, but what did you think of it?
I thought it was really cool. It was the definition of a lounge. It's what you expected a lounge to be. Booths that were couches,
Covered in velvet.
set up in a C shape. Yeah, with velvet, and yeah, it was wonderful. The music was great. I'm really glad you sent us there. It was really fun.
I think it's just this little gem and hidden away in a breakfast place that never stops. I mean, they're both open 24 hours a day, and
Yes,
the
that's-
wait in there to get to breakfast is long. So,
When I asked in the lounge, how late is your kitchen open? Expecting it was Saturday night, maybe midnight. She said, "Oh, it's always open."
Always open.
So what am I at Denny's?
and I love that the girls, the wait staff in there, are wearing long, flowing, like almost formal black dresses. It's just an interesting, different
It was
vibe.
really cool.
Yeah, and they do have a fire pit right in the middle of this room. That was very cool. But and then they, good old MTV, really old videos running all the time.
Can't
It's
go
just a
wrong
great
with that.
place.
With old MTV videos.
Yeah, we did make it. It was the very last thing we did. We went downtown, we walked, and then we jumped in an Uber, and we stopped at the Fireside for a drink. That was our last little thing. So I thought it was fantastic. I just love that place. I have to go at least once. I went twice this time, but
It was pretty phenomenal. It's an unbelievable place.
well, I'm interested in what else, because you were out, I guess, Saturday. You all went to that pizza place.
We went to Giordano's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great how they have, they've got restaurants from all over the country. You can go to Joe's Stone Crabs there. You can go to the Carnegie Deli, which
Yes.
you can't even do in New York anymore.
Yeah.
Giordano's, one of the great Chicago pizza places, and it was very true to form. I mean, it was no different than the pizza I had in Chicago at Giordano's just a few months ago.
Wow.
It was spectacular. I also wound up on a bit of a scavenger hunt for the best Mai Tai I could find.
Oh,
in
really?
Las Vegas. I had Mai Tais in several different places.
You had Mai Tai when we had dessert after Jackson Browne.
And that's kind of what got me started on that. Yeah. And then the next day I had Mai Tais in a couple of different places. So I was going Bloody Marys and Mai Tais.
That was it, huh?
And yeah, that was all. It was a noble pursuit. Somebody had to do it.
So how many times does this make for you in Vegas?
I guess it's 4 or 5. I'm not 5, I think. Yeah, because 3 times at the Sphere, once with the Rangers, and once to see Frank Sinatra. So I'd say 5 times.
Boy, seeing Sinatra in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah.
Man, that must be unbelievable.
That was. I'll tell you how far back it was. After the show, which I'm pretty sure was at Caesar's Palace, we went into the casino, and I sat down at a blackjack table, and within a couple of minutes, I was joined by the cast of Hill Street Blues.
Oh,
Wow, really?
Ed Marinaro sat right next to me, which was wild because I had called a couple of his games when I was in college. He was at Cornell, and he was racking up, 250 yards against these, pitiful Ivy League defenses. And there he is sitting right next to me. It was so great.
Did you tell him that?
And then, yeah, I did.
You call a couple of his games?
I did. I did. He was highly amused.
God,
that's great.
that is great.
Yeah, that was a brush with greatness, and I was a huge fan of that show. I never missed that show. It was
Boy, I was
wonderful.
too. I was a huge fan of that, and I mean, even today I'll watch reruns of it and think nothing of it. My brush with Sinatra was here
At Reunion.
at Reunion Arena.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah, one year he came, and that was when I was at the zoo, and I don't know how this possibly could have happened, but we wound up with some tickets, or the radio station wound up with some tickets, and I was only vaguely aware, if that he was even going to be at Reunion Arena that night. And I was walking through there, and the receptionist says, "You want some? I got some Frank Sinatra tickets here, Mike. Do you want them?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, sure. Why not?" And I grabbed them up and called this chick that I was hanging with at the time and said,
Cutely.
"Let's go see Frank Sinatra tonight." And they were like he was playing in the round.
Yeah.
And it was like the second row back from him. I don't know how we got those tickets, but I was sitting probably no further from Frank Sinatra than I am from you right now, Shoopy.
It's not
And
bad.
it was just incredible. I mean, it was truly a pinch yourself moment, And I don't know, you probably had a little bit better, feel for who he was and what he did than I did back then. But man, now I wouldn't take anything for that night.
Yeah. My mom was a huge Sinatra fan. She played him, morning till night in our house. And she was on a rotation of about 3 different singers. She had Sinatra, Tony Bennett, and Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I never got a chance to see Tony Bennett or Nat King Cole, but I got to see Sinatra twice, once at Reunion and once in Las Vegas.
That's great. That's great.
Well, on the whole, Vegas, we going back?
sure.
Want to go back?
Sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna-
Can me and Ashley go this time?
Yeah.
So who would you see of the bands that are coming there to the Sphere? Would you go see any of the above? Kenny Chesney, Zach Brown, No Doubt, Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet back. All right.
They're playing their New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's another night that could conceivably be absurdly crazy.
I think I could probably handle that. I wouldn't mind seeing Zach Brown there. Or No Doubt. I
already bought
think No
tickets
Doubt
for
would
No
be
Doubt.
awesome.
Yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's No Doubt.
Yeah, they're playing there in May, and we'll be there.
I've seen them once before, and man, they were great.
Yeah, I've never seen
They
them.
were really, really good.
Yeah.
That would be pretty neat to go see No Doubt there.
I'd also like to go and see The Wizard of Oz. I mean, that apparently is an incredible experience.
I had neighbors who went, and they said it was incredible. So apparently they have, wind swirling.
Yeah, you feel like you're in a tornado.
There's a misting when it's raining. There's trash that's swirling around. I mean, they try to really immerse you completely, apparently. So it sounds really cool. I think that would be a cool show to see. Yeah.
Toto winds up in your lap.
Just all of a sudden you got a puppy.
Toto.
Yeah, Toto winds up in your lap, and all of a sudden there's Steve Lukather.
Well played.
Well, so the other thing, though, that we saw, and we only saw like the renderings as we drove by, but I do think that you have a photo, and you might want to show it to Eric because he didn't get a chance. And this was just because our Uber driver going back to the airport pointed it out to us. But we saw the new site for the baseball team.
For the A's.
To be there. Yes.
Yes, for the Swingin' A's.
Swingin' A's, Las Vegas Swingin' A's.
Here. You go through those. You know what's what there.
Post-production. Yeah. Does look pretty awesome.
But yes, baseball is coming to Las Vegas.
Oh, there it is.
They have football. They have hockey. Can the NBA be far behind?
Is 2028 still the plan for the A's, or has that been pushed back?
I think that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
2028?
Yeah.
Can you see that? You might want to see it on my phone instead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
2028.
As much as I enjoy Sacramento, I really like going to Sacramento twice this year. I had a great time there. Getting a chance to broadcast a major league game in a minor league stadium where you were so close to the field, so close to home plate, that was pretty special.
But that's pretty neat.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that half dome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty cool. And Mike did get recognized.
Ooh. How did that go, Shoopy?
Well, the first time was the bellhop when we were leaving Caesars, right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got called Mr. Rhyner.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Did he sir you?
He did. Well, he clearly had some sort of history here in our Fairburg. The second time was a little bit different.
I've heard about this.
Yes, we ran into a patron in the airport as we were about to get on the airplane and come home, who had himself a time already that day.
Well, our flight had been delayed quite a bit, several hours, and he apparently had been sitting at that bar the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And it just so happened that the plane that was deplaning had come in from Buffalo. And there were a lot of people off the plane who were wearing Bill's gear. And they would deplane to find this guy standing there, right there, and they'd walk by and they'd say, "Bills suck." Fuck the Bills.
They made an announcement over the loudspeaker. Someone needed a wheelchair, and he goes, "Yeah, for these Bills."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the guy was just a dick of the highest order.
Oh.
And, I was standing kind of close to him and everything, and I thought I was in the clear, but as things turned out, he has some sort of background here.
Well, I mean, he was flying back.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, and it dawned on him that he knew somebody there.
Yeah, we were
And
standing across from him.
It was not
for a
gentle.
while.
Yeah, how was
Yeah.
that interaction?
It was one that you want to get out of just as quickly as you can.
Believe I was told he grabbed you by the shoulder
Yes,
and
by the
pulled
shoulder.
you in and close talked you?
Yes, he did.
All
close
things
talk.
that you like.
Yes,
Yes. He was trying to whisper in his ear, and
Yes.
Mike was pulling away.
There's that whiskey just wafting into your nose and
Yeah,
all over your
God.
face.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He tried to explain to me that Mike was DFW everything.
Yeah, I was DFW everything.
That's our new logo. Or catchphrase or whatever we call it.
He was approached by TSA and asked to follow them.
Yes.
Oh.
So we said, well, we knew this was coming. He was not going to make this flight.
Oh, no.
So they
And all the
walked him
time,
away.
I was just keeping my fingers crossed that we would be on the airplane before they would turn him loose. And fortunately, that happened.
Well,
Turned
barely.
out the one empty seat on the flight was next to you.
Well, it was interesting because we barely got away. Because he was told he couldn't take the flight, but he was let loose. And so he came right back to the gate.
Yeah, right back to the
talk to
bar.
Mike.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And then as we started to board, he walked away. And just as we were like in the first 15 and walking up, and all of a sudden he goes, Mike, I'm going to come in right behind you.
You're going to run interference for
He tried to sneak on right behind Mike.
Oh, God. So glad that didn't happen. Oh, that was rough. But Vegas, good. Paul, we've got you here.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a baseball thing?
Sure.
It came down while we were away that the Rangers are making a couple of significant changes with their coaching staff. And it occurred just how ingrained in the minds of Ranger Nation out there these two guys who are not going to be back were. And I've already had to explain to a few people online, look, when a new manager comes in, usually he gets the option of part of the deal for him is he gets to work with who he wants to work with. And as a result, Mike Maddox won't be back. In fact, Mike Maddox has already found another port of call, that being the hated Angels.
On apparently a 1-year deal? Has that been confirmed?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
'Cause I know Manaison has 1 year left, and
the manager, Suzuki, only got a 1-year deal. So, so I think Mike got a 1-year deal.
Does he have history with Suzuki?
I don't think so. Suzuki played for Washington, and Mike coached with Washington, but I don't think it was at the same time. And that's a tricky one for me. You know, I understand Skip Schumacher wanting one of his own coaches, and that would be an explanation for why Tony Beasley isn't going to be back. You know, as much as we love Bees, we all do. You know, I personally had the chance to work with him on a daily basis when he was the interim manager. Mm-hmm. It was just a wonderful experience. Just an incredible guy. Maddox, it's hard for me to imagine that Skip Schumacher wouldn't want Maddox as his pitching coach. You know, he just, cemented his legacy with a Ranger staff that led the major leagues in earned run average for the first time in the history of the franchise. You know, not to mention all of the other achievements that he's had over the years, all kinds of Cy Young winners and success with Milwaukee and the Cardinals and the Nationals, and now 2 tours of duty with the Rangers. I don't know what's behind that. I don't know if it was strictly a money situation, if it was a matter of not feeling appreciated, or if it really was a situation where the manager, had somebody else in mind. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see, who they wind up hiring as the pitching coach, and maybe we'll understand it a little better then.
Yeah. And Maddox has no ties with Suzuki that I can really see. There might be some, I think Jamie Newberg mentioned some possible minor ties with Manaison, because I think they would have maybe overlapped somewhere in Maddox's first go-around with the Rangers, but I don't know where that connection is.
Yeah.
Maybe he just likes California.
Well, it's really unusual for 2 coaches to work their way into the fabric of the fan base the way those guys did. Because, fans loved Maddox. Yeah. I think nobody got tired of watching the Mike Maddox trip to the mound. Mm-hmm. And, it's same with Tony Beasley, too. He always seemed very popular among the the fan base?
He was definitely loved. You know, he was a cancer survivor. That was part of it. Sang the national anthem.
Yep.
That was part of it. Was the interim manager after Chris Woodward got fired. I think that was part of it. And just how inspirational he always was. And, you know,
You know this better than me, but he always just seemed like a hell of a guy.
tremendous guy. And I can't think of another coach in all of the years that, you know, I worked for the Rangers who ingratiated himself to the fan base as much as Tony did.
Yeah. Well, that'll be something to watch when spring training rolls around and baseball comes
You know,
to life.
the one guy that might compare to that was Rudy Jaramillo as the hitting coach.
Yeah.
Being from here,
Right.
You know, having been a high school player at Sunset and, you know, all of that. But for two guys who are outsiders to have ingratiated themselves to that degree is pretty special.
Well, Eric, thank you for doing this once again.
It was a pleasure.
Last thing, number one thing about Vegas, your trips, both of you. You first.
It's got to be the Sphere. It was the number one reason for going, and it certainly lived up to expectations and lived up to prior experience. I thought that maybe, you know, the third time and the second time seeing the Eagles, it would seem like, yeah, this is old now. You know, it wasn't. It was as if I'd never been there before.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was. I have a real hard time coming up with one thing that I like best because, I mean, the Eagles were great. I knew they would be. I'd seen them several times before. They've never been anything but great. Jackson Browne still has serious fastball. And I was worried a little bit about how things might be in his band without David Lindley. But as things have turned out, as long as he's got Greg Lease sitting there playing the lap steel, he'll be just fine. And that's no knock on anybody or no diss on David Lindley. He was great. He's no longer with us. That's one of the reasons he's not there anymore. But yeah, the whole thing was just, that's two incredible shows back to back. Probably the two best shows back-to-back shows I've ever seen or ever will see. You can't hope for more than that. All right.
Agreed.
All right. Very
What's your
good.
new tagline?
My new tagline?
Yeah, you gonna give it to us?
I don't know. Do I have one?
Casinos never quit.
Oh, that's my new tagline.
That's what you said at the end of every day.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought you were going with all DFW or whatever that guy said.
Everything DFW.
Everything DFW.
Yeah, everything DFW.
Or did he say DFW everything?
DFW everything.
Yeah. Even better.
All right. Thank you, Shoopy. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for watching. If you like what we're doing here, tell somebody. Share us. Like us. Get us out there. Help us keep doing this. I'm DFW Everything, Mike Rhyner. Bye.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.